Hi Scorpio, this is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. Hope you are well and everything is going fine. This is your reading for February 2020. I'm going to jump right in today and start pulling some cards, but while I am shuffling, I'll just let you know that I will be teaching a class online. It is called the Tarot for Self-Discovery. So if you are interested in learning how to read tarot on your own, and you're also interested in knowing more about yourself, your purpose, and all of that other kind of stuff, it's a great class to take. It is self-paced, so there's no rush. You can take your time and learn what you need to learn while you need to learn it, and in the way that you need to learn it. And what's great about this class is that when you get done learning through yourself, you'll be able to read yourself and anybody else, to be honest with you. So if you're new to tarot and you want to learn more and you want to learn how to read yourself, it's a great class to take. The information about how to enroll is in the description box below, so feel free to check into that if you need to. Also, something else I was going to say to you all. February, we're moving right in. We are continuing the process of moving out of the old and shifting into the new. We are still going through this series of ascension processes. For those of you who want to know more about what that means, basically we are collectively raising our energy vibration up so that we can do a better job at being human beings than we have been in the last, I don't know, few hundred years or more. And so as we are moving into this new millennium, and we've been in it for 20 years, but when you think about it on a grander scale, the millennium is 1,000 years. We're just getting started with this millennium, and there are some implications for us to vibrate higher, and that's what we're doing. That's what we've been doing, and that's what we'll continue to do until we reach the top. Okay, so January was some seed planting time, and it was also for some of us a time to kind of get our stuff together, get out of the old thinking, because old thinking does not go with the new energy. It doesn't. So the way that you've been thinking about life, living, how you've been going about the business of life is not going to be the same, because you're going to be vibrating at a different frequency. And so meditation, prayer and meditation, and surrendering, getting rid of the old garbage, the old stuff, the old way of thinking, all of that is what's going to allow you to connect to the next level. So everybody's at a different level. And because everybody is at a different level, that's okay. We don't all have to be, in order for us to collectively raise our energy up, it's not important for us to all be at the same level. We just have to raise up from where we are. And then once we raise up from where we are, it's just like right now, everybody's not operating at the same frequency. We still are alive and things are still moving, but as everybody takes that little step forward, it makes it better for all of us. Okay. All right, so I have already pulled four cards here, so I'm just going to take a quick look before I keep going, Scorpio. All right, so we have the Knight of Cups here. Knight of Cups in this deck, which is the Man's LB deck. I'll leave some information about Man's LB in that description box too for you. This is aligning yourself, and so alignment has been the name of the game, honestly, since last year, the end of last year. So this is further alignment. This is continuing to align yourself, Scorpio, with a higher force energy. If you know about the Merkaba, you need to you might want to read up about that too. But it is about aligning yourself with that and sitting still with that. Okay, and you're still developing. Knights Knight of Cups, when you get Knights are still in a phase of development. So you're still developing there. I've got the Three of Cups that came in reverse for you. What that means, the Three of Cups normally represents a coming together on the earthly realm, which is associated with manifesting things from the spirit. And by it being in reverse, it tells me that maybe things are not quite lining up, but that's because you're still getting in alignment. And then when you get in alignment, then this Three of Cups, instead of it being in reverse, which means basically that things might not be coming together, it can right itself. So if you want to, if things aren't, if the situation that you're in, whether it's a relationship or whether it's work or whether it is your career or whether it's your personal development, if it seems like things aren't moving at the pace that you want them to, it's simply because you are continuing to connect. You are still in the process of connecting. Again, if you want to better connect, then you have to be quiet. You have to be still. You have to take some time out and away from the fray. You have to get your mind still, because when your mind is still, then the downloads or the channels or the information that you need to receive in order to be a part of that ascension can come through. Another good way to do that is Reiki. So if you have a Reiki practitioner or if you need some Reiki treatments, Reiki can also help with that, because what it does is it reaches your energy field exactly where it is, and then it does what it needs to do. It goes in and goes right to the source, and then the vibrational energy can connect, and then it can raise up. But again, in order for that to happen, we really have to have our minds still. And people in this society don't usually have their minds still. We have anxiety, our mind is running a mile a minute, and we don't take the time to stop it. And you have to stop it in order for those downloads to come through clearly for you. You have to be in a I don't want to say a flat line, because it has a bad connotation, but it's like your mind has to be flatlined, and then you can receive. Now that's why a lot of people get downloads during their sleep, because their mind is still at that time. So if you are a dreamer, then pay attention to your dreams, because your dreams will give you some indication as to where you are in the process, or they can. I don't know. It depends on how you're dreaming, but at any rate, when you're asleep, your mind is also down, and your subconscious can be at work, and then your subconscious and your spirit conscious can connect. But a lot of times our conscious mind, as good as it is for logic and being able to solve problems and pay your bills, or study a craft, or study out of a book, it's good for that. But when it comes to spiritual downloads, you really have to take your mind out so that the spirit can just come on through. All right, so we got the Four of Cups here. The Four of Cups, fours are always foundation numbers, foundation building numbers. And if you remember from last month's reading, it was all about foundation building. Everybody basically got the same message, and that is it's time to build new foundations, better foundations, more solid foundations for ourselves. And for you, Scorpio, that is a spiritual process, and it's also a matter of you being able to see, and for you to be able to see in the spirit. So your third eye is what's got to be activated in this situation. Again, this ascension process is different. You're not going to be going about business as usual. It's not about, it's not as simple as going and, signing your name on the bottom of a document and saying, oh, okay, here, or paying some money to take a class and now I have the information. That's just information. We're talking about downloads. We're talking about spiritual connectivity, and we're also talking about you being able to tap into yourself and to your spirit conscious self so that you can raise that energy vibration up. All right, we've got that Six of Wands in reverse here. The Six upright to me is like walking through doorways, but not just any doorway. These are doorways that have been prepared for you over a long period of time. And not only that, but because of the work that you have put in. So this is that's what this is about. And then 6 is again where we talked about the 3 of Cups in reverse, or even the 3 of Cups upright, that the 3 represents a connecting of forces that allows for manifestation from the spirit to come. So the 3 is like you doing your part, and the 6 is when the other parts come together. That's when the spiritual has an agreement, because in the Bible it says in order for manifestation to happen, 3 must agree. There are 3 that agree in heaven, and there are 3 that agree in earth. So that 3 and that 3 connects. If those of you who know about the Hermetic teachings or the Gnostic teachings, we talk about as above, so below, and then you have the symbol of the triangle that goes up and then the triangle that comes down. All of that symbolism is associated with this. It's associated with the 3 that have to agree on earth and the 3 that have to agree on in heaven. And when they come together, if you talk about the Star of David, that 3, the triangle that comes down and the triangle that goes up, and they make the Star of David. It's a manifestation thing. And so if you're familiar with the Kabbalah, you know that too. And if you're not, we can talk more about that. That's another story. But at any rate, we've got this 3 of Cups in reverse, and we got the 6 of Wands in reverse. And then what that tells me is, again, you need to make the connection. You got to be able to make that connection. And the best way to make the connection is by connecting. You know, you got to remove the mental and rely on the spiritual and the emotional in order to tap in, because this is an intuitive process. It is not a thinking process. Now, I'm not trying to tell anybody stop thinking, because use your head. Don't be out here just, doing the whatevers. Don't do that, because that's how you get God. God gave you the good sense. He gave you a mind to use it. He didn't give you the mind for you to just act like it's not there and just follow blindly anybody and anything. It's not about that at all. It's just about being able to recess that thinking part so that you can receive your downloads. Then you go back to thinking again, because you got to go to work. You got to pay your bills, and you got to, do what you have to do and not get swindled or whatever. You know what I'm saying, Scorpio. You get it. You get it. All right, let's see what else you got here. Anything else for Scorpio month of? Yep, that's what it is. We got the Tower card here. The Tower card for me just says that, again, look at this guy. He's got a whole entire building on the top of his head, and, you got all these lightning bolts coming down to, what's going to happen next. It's like you can build up so much in your mind. You can think too much, and then when you think too much, then you've destroyed the possibility of being able to receive the next level of teachings, if that's what you need to do. So for me, this Tower is really speaking very loudly to this situation right here. Okay, so if you're dealing with if you've been having an experience where you were kind of headed in one direction, and then all of a sudden things changed, the wind blew, and everything is kind of not working, or it isn't moving forward the way that you thought that it should, keyword thought that it should, let it go. Let it go. It's just like they say, if you love something, set it free. If it's meant to be, it will always come back to you. So it's the same thing with your ideas, your concepts, your any effort that you're making, relationships. It applies to all of it. It's just where you are right now in it. And some people are dealing with emotional issues. Some people are dealing with mental. Some people are dealing with physical. Might be your physical health that you're working on. So it just depends on who you are and where you are and what it is that's trying to and how it is the spirit is trying to communicate to you, or trying to communicate what it is requiring of you at that time. And it may be speaking to you through different things, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to speak to you through the thing that you're going to pay attention to the most. So like, let's say, for example, your Achilles heel, like my Achilles heel is finances. So spirit speaks to me through finances. Anytime I'm going in the wrong direction, they cut my money off. I'll be like, hey, what's going on? but for some other people, it might be a physical issue that comes in, an ailment. For other people, it might be, family issues, or all of a sudden my spouse or my sister or my brother or my cousin is arguing with me and we starting this stuff all over again. Whatever it is and however it is coming to you, is there for you to stop, take a moment, listen, and say, okay, let me hear. Let me take my ego out. Let me take my ego out, because towers do show up when ego issues are present. All right, Scorpio, so hopefully that resonates with you. Apply it wherever it applies. If you want to take a deeper dive and you want to know what's going on with you personally, you can reach out to me. Information is in the description box. Don't forget about that Tarot for Self-Discovery class. We also have the moon views coming up. There's a change in the moon coming up, so I will be doing a short video about that. But if you need to get in sync, which I highly recommend for you to get in touch with your lunar cycle and start moving with the lunar cycles. When you move with the lunar cycles, it puts you in touch with your intuitive side and your emotional side, which is how the intuition gets in. So again, Scorpio, especially for you, and you're a water sign anyway, so you know the deal. You just want to be able to get your downloads, and I want you to get your downloads in February. Okay? All right. As always, I hope you have a great February, and I hope you're having a wonderful life.